Hey y'all, hey, it's your favorite real estate diva, Miss Delisa Robinson. I am trying to get my Facebook up so I can do both, but I don't know. Facebook not letting me be great today. So maybe now it will be. There, I think I got it. I think I got it. I don't know. Hey Mo, how you doing? Did you start your you got the Power Play bundle. Did you start? You know what? I'm so done. Oh, that's right. Ugh. Hold on, guys. It's coming. We I forgot because, I'm Apple everything all day. Oh, okay. You started Sean's first. Okay. That's a good one too. I forgot. When I go on live on Facebook, I can't go live from my Apple. I have to do what do you call that? Chrome. Because it won't let me go live from unless I'm on my phone. I can go live on my phone all day. It won't let me do it. Are you on Facebook? I am. I'm getting ready to log in now. It wasn't letting me be great, so I had to finagle it and do some things. Hey Mia, how you doing tonight? So what I like to do is, do some things. I gotta, get some stuff done over here because I was on the phone. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I told y'all I don't hide nothing. I was on the phone running my mouth with my best friend and kind of lost track of time. Then she was like, "Oh, it's almost time for you to go live." I'm like, "Yeah, it is, ain't it?" Yeah. Hey, Chandra, I see you sneaking in here. Let's see. Let's hope I got the right password to get in my Facebook because I don't never know what it is. Boom, we cooking with gas. You know what I forgot, y'all? I don't have any wine. I don't have any water. Hey, Sade, what's going on? Did you call those accounts? Those files I told you about yesterday? You just can't sneak up in here and don't think I'm not going to ask you about it. That was from our very, very nice. Yesterday was a good accountability meeting. If you missed it, too bad for you, because it was good. Yep, it was a good one yesterday. I ain't mad at it. We had a good time. And we got some good potential leads out of it too. So that's good too. So because I'm streaming on both Instagram and Facebook, I'm going to, yes, it worked. Forgot all about this. Go live. That's all I had to do. Add a title to it. And let's go live. I add the title after. So I'm on both. I'm streaming on Facebook and I'm going to be on Instagram like I normally am. Now, when I have guests, I just want you guys to know, when I do have guests, you won't be able to see my guests on Facebook, only on Instagram. So pick your poison. That's all I can say. Pick your poison. We're, Instagram, Facebook is not letting me be great. So tonight. First of all, let me introduce myself. Hey y'all, how y'all doing? I'm your favorite real estate diva, Miss Delisa Robinson. We're going to get it in tonight because this is a topic that is near and dear to me. because it's actually how I got started investing in real estate. And I'm going to tell you the do's, the don'ts, the wills, and the won'ts. Okay? So tonight we're going to talk about, we're going to kick off this series. And I keep telling you, it's a series and it's coming. Low cost ways to to start investing in real estate. That's what it basically is. This thing is getting on my nerves. I ain't trying to flash y'all, but I'm also trying not to be all on here either. So what we're going to talk about tonight is house hacking. Yes, that's how I got started, believe it or not. So before we get into that, if this is your first time here, I hope it won't be your last. If you've been here before, thank you for coming back. My name is Delisa Robinson. I'm the owner, operator, and CEO of Trinity Alliance Group of Buffalo. We are a full-service real estate investment brokerage. We are a New York State's licensed brokerage. We cater to investors, but do we help first-time home buyers? Absolutely. Do we help people who want to sell their homes? Absolutely. We have people who can do that. Okay? So don't just think when I say we only cater to investors that you can't come to us. We can, but I created Trinity because I couldn't find none of my real estate agents that I dealt with buying my houses. None of them can give me everything that I needed. So I was like, attorneys, none of that. I couldn't find an attorney, a broker, a lender. Contractors didn't know what I was talking about. It was just so crazy. So what we started doing was, I'm sorry, Facebook, I'm gonna have to log out because it's not working. And it's distracting me from doing what I need to do. So I'm just gonna take that down. Hold on one second. So what happened is I couldn't find what I needed, so I created it. And that's basically how it worked. I couldn't find it, so I created it. And that's how a lot of people in business get started, to be honest with you. So what happened is I started out, it wasn't known as house hacking then. It was called buying a property, buying an investment property. My first house was a double. It was 2-2 double or a duplex, whatever you want to call it. It was an upper and a lower. And on the upper, hey Lucas, the upper was where and this is the thing you're going to run into when you get into this. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't even finish my introduction. I own and operated, I told you, you guys know, I've done this a million times, but I'm going to do it again for those who haven't been here before. So if you haven't been here before, I'm the owner, operator, CEO. I've been in the real estate business now for 22 years. February 2021 will be 23 years. Yes, 23 years strong in the game. And I'm going to tell you, during the course of all of this that we're going to go through over the next couple of weeks, you guys are going to understand that I haven't always had success. I'm going to share with you the failures, and I'm going to start with this house hack that I'm getting ready to tell you about. Okay? So, I have a bachelor's degree in business with concentrations in marketing administration, marketing, advertising, and public relations. I have bought and sold probably more than I should have in a lifetime, and also rebuilt. I've started from the ground zero plenty of times to know how to get back up very quickly. And I don't have a problem sharing my knowledge with you guys because that's what I'm here to do. Don't do what I did and make the mistakes that I made. You're supposed to do what I say and don't make the mistakes that I made. That's how this works. Okay? Okay. Now, let's get into the good stuff, which it really came here for, right? So, I bought my first house. And it's so crazy because over the course of the past 22 years since I bought this first house, this house has come back to haunt me plenty of times. And when I say haunt me, it's like it's following me around everywhere I go. I literally bought this house. It was the absolute worst real estate deal I could have ever gotten myself into. It was a bad move. I ended up doing a voluntary foreclosure on this house. It was horrible. The whole deal was horrible. The only thing that was nice about this part of the game was the house itself. I found the house. Okay. Now, my rule number one is you don't fall in love with the property, you fall in love with the numbers. That's rule number one. This house taught me that rule. Okay? So you don't fall in love with the house, you fall in love with the numbers. So, long story short, this house is on the market. We're talking 1998, okay? I was 27 years old. I didn't know my butt from a hole in the wall. I was struggling. I was crazy. I just knew my landlord where I was living, she had decided she was going to put the house up for sale. And I was like, man, I don't want to lose this good apartment. People might not want me to live here. I don't know what type of landlords they're going to be. I want to buy a house. So I go out, 27 years old, I'm grown, I'm thinking I'm good. I'm working at the bank. I'm thinking everything is great. Everything is hunky-dory. Then this happened. So, first of all, I had the worst credit that any 27-year-old could have ever had. It was horrible. I think my credit was like 5 something. So, that was wrong. Then, I went and I found a real estate agent that I thought was going to work for me. She ended up getting sick, and then the agent who listed the house is who they assigned me to. Right. Come to find out, now I'm like still in love with this house. It was the very first house I saw. Now don't get me wrong, I went and saw other houses, but none of them compared to this house, and this house fit my budget. But let me tell you what happens when you don't do things in order. You end up doing what I did, which was voluntarily turning this house back over to the bank because you can't afford it. So, 1998. Everything was great. Everything was good. This house was only like $55,000. My mortgage payment was like $550 a month. The people, my tenants upstairs were paying like $650 a month, I think. If I'm remembering this correctly, I got it written down somewhere because I keep telling this story over and over. I keep the notes. They were paying like $650 a month or something like that. I don't know what it was. But anyway, I didn't have any rent. Their rent was my mortgage payment. So now the $450 I was paying in rent, I no longer have to pay. Well, no, I was paying $375. Back in the day. You got to understand, it was back in the day, it was a small apartment. Technically, it was a 1-bedroom, but it was really a 2, but legally she couldn't call it a 2. So she was only charging like $325, $350. I think I was paying like $325, $350 a month. And I love that apartment. I literally lived in that apartment for like 4 years. Never moved, didn't have any problems until she got ready to sell the house, and I wasn't ready to buy it. And this is how crazy I was. I loved my apartment so much, and it was just me. I had no husband, at the time, I had no husband, no kids, none of that good stuff. It's just me. I had a decent job at the bank, so I'm like, shoot, that was just me. I was a luxury in my life. That's how I'm gonna put it. I was a luxury in my life. So what happened is I was so crazy in love with this apartment where I was living. If I would have bought that house, I would have stayed upstairs in my apartment and rented out the downstairs and got way more money for it because the downstairs was 3 bedrooms, living room, dining room, kitchen, all that other good stuff. I didn't need all that space. I was cool living in my apartment upstairs. So I would have just stayed up there where I was. Hey, Andy, how you doing? And so what happened is I ended up moving. But I didn't move into my house. What I did was she wanted me to sign another year lease. And had I paid attention, had I known then what I know now, I would have signed that lease for another year. Because New York state law says if I would have signed that lease for a year, my new landlord would have had to have honored that lease. So she was trying to protect me by tying me into a lease. But my young, dumb, and selfish ways, I was like, well, I don't want to be tied into this lease. What if I don't like these new owners? What if they're not as cool as she was? Because my landlord was so chill. It was just her and her dog downstairs, just me and my music upstairs, and that was it. And we didn't bother each other, and I loved it. I was in a centrally located place. I didn't have to worry about it. I didn't want to drive my car. I could have hopped the train to work. Loved it. So we got in, she was trying to protect me, but all she had to do was tell me that. But I don't think she knew it either, but she was just trying to tie me in. Because she literally would have got a better deal on the house if she had a tenant on a lease that was guaranteed to pay mortgage for the rent, which would have paid the mortgage for the new owners. So long story short, I moved in with my uncle until my house was ready, because I had put in an offer on his house and was ready, going to close. So I didn't want to sign another year lease knowing I was going to be moving. So I moved in with my uncle, who lived right down the street. So I literally was still on the same street. And my house, the day before my house is ready to close, is when the carpet got ripped from up under me. My attorney called. He goes, where'd you get this real estate agent from? I said, well, I just called the sign. I called the number that was on the sign in front of the house. And then I explained to him this wasn't my original real estate agent. He said, oh, you should have asked for a different agent. And I said, why? He goes, well, the agent who's representing you, she's the listing agent. I said, okay, that's fine. I mean, I got a good deal. He was like, yeah, but you had a better deal on the table. And you could have gotten a better deal had she not been representing her daughter who owned the house. So who is she really representing? Let me give you guys some advice. This is mistake number one that I made in my real estate career, was going with the agent on the sign in front of the house. They have a fiduciary responsibility to the person that is selling the house because they're listing it. That is their client. You are not their client. They're not there to represent you or get the best deal for you. They are there to represent the seller in that transaction. I didn't even, and she should have disclosed to me that the person she was representing was her daughter. But I guess she didn't think anybody would find out because they had two different last names, because the daughter had gotten married. So yeah, that was mistake number one, going with the agent that they assigned to me from the sign. Even though I had my own agent in the beginning, I don't think she got sick. I think they took it from her. They paid her some type of referral fee and just gave this agent my commission. That was mistake number one. Number two, my attorney, my attorney was a phenomenal guy throughout this whole process. He goes, if you want out of this deal right now, you can get out. But what did I do? Well, mistake number two was the agent. Mistake number one was I fell in love with that house. Had everything in it that I wanted. I was good. I had enough space for me. I still had 2 bedrooms, but this time I had a huge living room, huge dining room, sun porch, nice bathroom, huge backyard. It was beautiful. I loved it. My first house, it was amazing. It was perfect for me. So he goes, you can get out of this deal if you want. I said, why would I want to get out? He goes, well, first of all, you're not getting the best deal you possibly could get because she didn't negotiate on your behalf. She's negotiating on her daughter's behalf. I said, okay, but it's still within my budget. The payment is still within my budget. He said, you do realize you have an adjustable rate mortgage, right? First time home buyer, not researching anything, not knowing anything, just out here doing whatever. I said, what do you mean? He says, because of your credit score at the time, because remember I told you I had crappy credit. Because of my credit score at the time, I could not get an FHA. I couldn't get a conventional mortgage. I had to get what we call subprime mortgage. Subprime mortgages at the time were notorious for giving out adjustable rate mortgages. Here's what an adjustable rate mortgage does. Every time the prime goes up, and you all know the Fed Bank does prime. So if prime goes up, so does my mortgage because I have an adjustable rate based on what prime is. So eventually my mortgage, it kept going up. My mortgage ended up being, now I have to come out of pocket because my mortgage ended up being more than what the rent was covering from the apartment upstairs. So that was the mistake. The biggest mistake was when not listening to my attorney. When my attorney said, you need to get out of this deal, I should have gotten out of it. But I didn't. I went through, and I stayed in that house for 4 years. I'm going to give you that much. I did stay there for 4 years before I said, you know what, enough is enough. Because what started happening around 2004, foreclosures became rampant. So predatory loans became the thing to do, and people were upside down on their mortgages. Guess what also happened in 2002? My good job at the bank decided to ship to India. So I had to go find another job. That's when I went back to collections and stayed for 15 years, okay? So don't do that. Don't do what I did. What I just say. Don't do what I did. And don't forget, guys, if you have questions, this cute little box down here next to where it says comments has a circle with a question mark in it. Pop that baby up. Ask any questions you want. I'm going to try and answer as many as I can. So that was what happened with that house. So I went, and now it's like, okay, I'm out of this house. What do I do? So I went, me and my husband, because I did get married in those 4 years. It just still didn't matter. These interest rates were going out of control. It didn't matter. And my husband was sick. At the time, my husband was sick with cancer. So my income was the only income. So there's a lot of things you need to look into and make room for in case you want to buy a house. And that's what we're going to start talking about first. When I say house hacking, you first have to own the house. So let's start there. Okay? All right. Now, first of all, what is house hacking? If you saw the video I put up earlier, house hacking is when you purchase a property. It can be a single family. It could be 1 to 4 units. And you rent out, if it's a one family home, you rent out the other bedrooms for rent. And the rent that you collect should cover all of the expenses for the house. Should. Sometimes it doesn't, and that's okay too. But you don't want to be coming out. You shouldn't be paying the same amount of money in rent that you were paying when you were paying in rent. You're supposed to be banking that money. That's why they call it a house hack, because you're using the house and its equity to not have to pay any expenses. Oh, you saw it? Okay, good. I'm glad somebody else saw it besides me. So then what happens is so that's number one. You purchase a home, 1 to 4 unit property. You live in one and you rent out the other units if it's more than one unit, or the other rooms if it's that. Now here's where people come and they say they rent out. You see it all the time on Airbnb. They're renting out a room in their home. I'm going to be honest with you. The people who are smart in doing that, they are killing the game. Just so you know. They're killing it. Absolutely killing it. And that's something else we're going to talk about when we get to the Airbnb section. But for right now, we're talking about house hacking. So I purchased a home. In my case, I purchased a double. My mortgage, we're just going to round numbers because y'all know I'm bad at math. I don't pretend to know math, okay? So my mortgage is $500. My tenants are paying $750. Am I banking $250 a month? No. You're not. Here's why. You still have to cover, your mortgage payment should cover your taxes, your insurance, and the mortgage payment. They put that in what they call escrow. What you need to do is then you should have it where now you still have, and I'm going to use the city of Buffalo for example. You still have a user fee and water bill. So if that $500 is covering my mortgage, my insurance, and my taxes, then the $250 a month is going to be covering the user fee and the water bill. Now, using here in Buffalo, our water bill comes out every 3 months. So it's quarterly. It's about, say, 160, 180. We'll just say 180 for round numbers. So that means I need to put away $60 a month. So $60 has to come out of that $250. And that should be going in the bank. Right? Right. Now, does that happen all the time? No, because you always think, well, I can just take $250 when it comes in and just do the whole thing. No. User fee is usually about $300 a year. User fee, for those of you who are not familiar with that term, that is the trash collection. That's where we have those nice big pretty garbage cans that the city provides for us. They charge us for that. Okay, your city and state is charging you for it too. You just don't know. Some of them put it in with the taxes. Some of them send you a separate bill. Buffalo will send you a separate bill. So I have $300, and I have a calculator here because I told you I'm bad at math. So I got $300 divided by 12. That's $25. So $25 has to come off that $250 every month. So it's $250 minus 25. I'm down to $225. What I tell you else have to come out of that? The water bill. So that's minus another $60. So I'm banking $165. Here's something else you have to consider. You should be putting away 10 to 20% of the money that you make. Why, Delisa? Because something might break in that house. You might need a new toilet. You might need a new sink. Your tub might back up. The sewer might, when you flush your toilet, it might back up into your tub. Because I had that happen at a rental property before too. So out of that $165 that is left of that $250, you now have to put money to the side. So here's what you could do. Just to say, you could take that whole $165 and leave it in the bank because you're still living rent free. Just keep banking it. Now, $165 times 12, you're at the end of the year, you have banked $1,980 just off of that $165 every month going into that account. Because you want to have your account for your extra utilities separate from your maintenance account. Because the two shall never cross. Okay? All right. Now, everybody with me so far? If you've got questions, like I said, pop it in that little question box right there. And we can go from there. So, now I have $1,980 right, wrong. Because I'm no longer paying rent at my other apartment. So, like I said, my apartment at the time, hey Sean, how you doing, babe? My apartment at the time, I was paying what? I told you $350, right? So $1,980. Now I'm saving that $350, or at least you should be. All right. So $350 a month times 12, that's $4,200 plus the $1,980 I should have in the bank by the end of the year, $6,180. You're welcome. So now I have money if in case anything breaks. I have money. So if I need a new car, I also have a down payment for a new car, or I can go and get a push and start for $6,000. You don't want to do that every year, people, okay? That's crazy. But you could do it. So, because you have to bank it. That's why they call it a house hack. Because you put money into your account. Now, guess what I can do next year? I might find another house. I might find a house that somebody wants a lease option, and I'll just save $6,000. Guess what I also have in my house? Equity. Because I was smart enough not to pay the full equity value of the house when I purchased it. You make money in real estate when you purchase a home, not when you sell it. You make the money when you purchase a home, not when you sell it. So y'all can look at me crazy if y'all want to, because I see y'all like, Delisa nuts. Hey, that ain't true. Yes, it is. And I'm going to tell you how. I just purchased a property. I told you guys this. I purchased a property in September, at the end of September, using lease options. And I talked about lease options before. Go back. The videos are there. If the video's not there, I'm sorry, there is no replay on that. The replay, if you want the replay for lease options, click the link in my bio. You can purchase that, and I think it's like maybe $19. But lease options are there for you to build a portfolio with. We're going to talk about those in a minute too. But today is what? House hacking. And I just told you how to do it in a nutshell. But the first thing you need to do, we're going to go back and revisit the mistakes that Delisa made. Okay? First of all, get your finances in order. At the time, I was horrible with money. Horrible. This is disgusting. Because I don't call myself the real estate diva for nothing. Trust me, I've been calling myself the diva forever. Okay? Because I was a spoiled brat. I didn't have to worry about the money. I got it from my parents. It's cool. Didn't have to do anything. When I bought my house and I didn't have all the money for my down payment, my parents gave it to me. Yes, not like Donald Trump. Nobody gave me $1 million, but I did get something. I think they gave me like $4,000 because I was short $4,000. So they gave me short $4,000. Now, when that happened, I was like, okay, cool. Thank you, Mom and Dad. I appreciate it. But that also meant I had to be very responsible with money, and I wasn't. So that's hence the bad credit at the time. Like I told you guys, it was horrible. So now, knowing what I know now, mistake number 1, don't fall in love with what? The house. Fall in love with the numbers. Mistake number 2, do not use the real estate agent that is listing the house. That is not your friend. She, he, it, whatever, not there for you. They are there they have a fiduciary responsibility. And if you want to look up the word fiduciary, it means I work for them, not you. So they have a fiduciary responsibility to the seller, who they have a contract with already. Do not, I'm going to say it again, do not use the real estate agent for the house. This is for a house that you are purchasing, that you are going to live in. You want somebody negotiating for you. Now, if you wholesaling on the MLS, go ahead and use the same agent. Get an agent that little check they're going to get for that little bummy house. Nobody care about that. Because you're going to make $5,000, $10,000 on an assignment fee. They only make like $1,500 to $3,000 on theirs. So let them have that money. That's how you work with agents. Oh, you could just represent me in the sale. I'm fine. You let me wholesale this house, I'll let you have both the paychecks. If not, I'm going to go get an agent to negotiate on my behalf. That's how you do it. So, number 1, get your finances in order. Number 2, get your credit in order. Number 3, do not fall in love with the house. You fall in love with the numbers. Number 4, listen to your attorney when they're trying to give you an out. Listen to your attorney. Because if I didn't listen to my attorney, I'd save myself a lot of headache and a lot of grief. All right? Now, questions about house hacking? Because we've been talking about house hacking for about 30. Yeah, I didn't realize I gave you a whole scenario about house hacking. So let me give you a successful house hack story. It's not really a house hack. It's an investment property because I'm not living in it. But this is a lease option deal that I did. I paid $500 a month for my owner finance lease option. My tenants pay $1,600 a month. Yeah, I kind of made out. So I'm going to take $500 and put it in the bank every month. So I'll have $6,000 saved at the end of the year. I'm on this lease option deal for 2 years. And then in 2 years, I have to pay the balloon payment, which is a refi. I'm just going to refinance the house and pay him out. Because in 2 years, this house is going to be worth almost $200,000. I'll have more than enough equity in it at that time. That's why. Exciting, right? Yep, me too. So that's what we do. But we cannot fall in love with numbers. With the house, we have to fall in love with numbers. Numbers are our friend. What else? What other lesson did we learn? Never get an adjustable rate mortgage. What other lessons did you learn? What did you guys learn in this process? Because, tell me what you learned. I want to hear it. Did you learn anything from my big mistake? Did you? You don't have to be quiet. You could laugh at me. Listen, that was the worst deal I could have ever got myself into, and I haven't made that bad of a deal since. because I believe in learning my lessons. And that's the one thing I tell everybody. I don't take losses. I learn lessons. And I learned a huge lesson in that one. And I'm just saying, hell yeah. Continue to get this credit. Exactly. Get your credit in order. Listen, I posted something the other day on my wall, and I know y'all saw it. It said, cash is king, but credit rules the world. Mia said, yes, she learned a lot. Thank you, sweetie. So this is it. Now, what did you learn? You saying you learned a lot, Mia. What specifically did you learn from my big mistake? Because I tell you, I don't have any secrets. I'm gonna tell you. As we go through each and every step, I'm going to tell you a mistake that I've made in this process. Because we are, hey Nikki, how you doing? We are in this journey together. Now, the first thing you need to do in this whole process is this. Get your finances in order. Get your credit together. Because you have to buy a house. You get what I'm saying? In order to house hack, don't worry about that, Nikki. This will be left up. In order to house hack, you have to own the house. So, because there's other ways that we can build real estate income without owning real estate. And that's going to blow y'all minds back. Y'all be running around and telling something, Lisa, how are you putting us on all this game? Because I'm giving out free game all day. Y'all hear me? Free game all day. Every bit of it is free game. I don't want y'all, and I mean, I could charge y'all like millions and thousands of dollars for this, but I don't. Do I? Nope. Come on, why won't this question box go away? It just keeps popping up. There it is. House hacking is a great idea for a young person wanting to start investing and buying their first property. Absolutely. And just so you guys know, Chandra is a broker, so she knows what she's talking about. Yep. You definitely, if you are young and you want to get into this game called real estate, and I'm going to tell you another thing, young people, stay at your mama house. Everybody, and this is one thing I never understood. And I'm talking to black people right now, okay? Stop putting y'all kids out when they turn 18. You setting these kids up for failure. You making them have to do all this extra stress and strife to get ahead. Stop putting these babies out on the street when they're 18. Especially if they're not ready to be out there. Y'all set them up for failure. That's not what y'all distant cousins are doing. Y'all distant cousins, they're keeping their kids at home. They're letting their kids build money. They're letting their kids build up nest eggs. Their kids are moving out into property that they own. And you are putting your kids out and making them pay a bill. Why? I don't believe in it. Now, and I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong for doing it. You can do what you want to do. Them your kids. But I'm not doing it with mine. I don't believe in that. I don't. My mother didn't do it with me. My father didn't do it with me. I could have still been living at home right now if I wanted to. I mean, barring the fact that they passed away, but still. I still could have been living at home. My mama didn't do that. None of my family members did. I got a cousin right now. She's still living at home with her mama. Ain't nothing wrong with that. She's like, why should I? Your kids, yeah. Your kids. You can do what you want to do. But what I'm saying is, stop putting them babies out on the street. As soon as they get 18, you want to put them out. For what? Now they working every day. They struggling. They can't pay the rent. You know what I'm saying? And then if you was helping them out and something happened to you, your business, your home, your job, and you can't help them no more, they coming back home anyway. So let them stay there. Let them stay there. Teach them, say, hey, you know what? Make them pay you rent and put that money in a bank in a savings account for them. So when they do get ready to buy a house, you have that money for them. Do something constructive, not destructive, because that's what that is. That's destructive. No, we're not doing it with my kids. They can stay here as long as they want to. I don't care. Except this youngest one. I'm getting rid of him. No, I'm just joking. Just kidding. Before y'all go calling CPS and all this other stuff. That boy gonna be here too forever. Let him tell it. He ain't never moving. So But that's what we have to do. You first have to purchase a home. The first step to buying a home, finances. Get your finances in order. Sit down and write down every single bill that you owe. Write down every source of income you have. And start figuring out where your money go. Because once you figure out where your money is going, you can figure out how to redirect it so it's not all going out the door. That's the first thing you do. Get your house in order. Get your financial house in order. Sean, would you say I'm not kidding? No, I ain't kidding. My kids can stay with me forever. I don't care. Except that young one. He gotta go. I tell everybody, if I had my last kid first, I wouldn't have no more kids. I tell, honey, that one's, woo, that's a challenge. I love my baby to death, though, but the little homie is, woo, he know it. He in there now playing Xbox or PlayStation, whatever it is he got in his room. But just stop. These kids, stop setting your kids up for failure. You want to see your kids struggle the way you struggle? You struggle because we wanted to be hot and fast and move out. And, I'm 18, I'm leaving. I know I did. I left home at 18, and trust me, I should have stayed my butt at home. I did it. I left home. Home at the time was Florida. I left home, graduated from high school, came back to Buffalo, and came to stay with my dad. But I didn't even stay with him that long. I stayed with him probably about 6 months. I was like, I can't live with you. We not meant to live together. And I went and got an apartment. Well, not even an apartment. Moved in with my best friend and her mom. And she didn't even charge us rent. She refused to take money from us. And see, that's what I'm telling you. That's what white people do. She wasn't charging us no rent. Didn't make us do no rent. All we had to do was keep our rooms clean. And we had the whole attic to ourselves. We still reminisce about them days in the attic. All that time. We stayed in the attic, kept our rooms clean, and because I felt bad because we weren't paying any rent, because I was just used to that. That's what I was used to, paying bills, paying rent. I had to pay the phone bill when I was in high school because my mother said, you don't want to rent it up. Because back then we didn't have unlimited calling, and I was calling back to Buffalo every day. So that long distance bill was high. My mother made me pay her phone bill. You pay this long distance bill. You want to rent it up, you're gonna learn. And she right. I kept putting out paychecks. My little Burger King paycheck was going to that phone bill. I was not happy. I stopped calling Buffalo, I'm tell you that. So stop setting your kids up for failure. Here's a tip, and I want y'all to take this with you. I don't care if y'all don't get nothing else out of this. I want y'all to get this out of it. If you have a credit card that you are paying and it is in good standing, add your 16, 17, 18-year-old to that credit card as an authorized user. You don't have to give them a card. All right? You ain't got to give them a card. You don't. Add them to that card and start building a good credit history for them. So then once they're 18 and they can get their own credit cards, and at the same time, don't just add them to the card. Teach them about the credit. Every month when the credit card statement come in, show them what you're doing. Explain to them why you're doing it. Okay? And help them build credit. My son is 26 years old. He had no credit. None. Because, and for those of you who don't know my story, I say my son because we don't do halves and steps in our household. So this is actually my stepson, but he's my son. He was living in my house since he was 4 years old. So his biological mother went and ran up all this credit in his name. Y'all know how they used to do? Put phone bills in the baby name, put gas bill in the baby name, put cell phone bills in the baby name, all kinds of crap. So once he got of age, his credit sucked because all this stuff was on his credit report. So what we did was we disputed everything. We got everything taken off. So by the time we got everything taken off, he had no credit. None. And I'm going to tell you one thing that y'all don't know and they don't tell you. No credit is worse than bad credit. Consumer credit counseling, trying to get your credit in order? No. Here's why. I don't like consumer credit counseling because, first of all they're doing is what you can do yourself. You're going to pay them. They say they nonprofit. They don't charge you. But you're paying them on a monthly basis, and they pay a little bit on each one of your bills. I suggest a credit repair specialist. Go to a credit repair specialist. Yes, you're going to pay them. Yes, it's going to be expensive, but they will get your credit right. Yes. RG Central, you are absolutely right. There are other ways you can do it yourself credit repair. They do that. All right. So that's another thing you can look into. I have three credit specialists that I actually prefer and recommend. Well, four actually that I would prefer and recommend to you. And I go with four because they're in four different parts of the country. So they might know different things and different techniques. But I like Credit Medics. She's in Philadelphia, I believe, Philadelphia, New Jersey. I like Clarity Credit. She's here in Buffalo. I like the Savvy Diva that we had on a couple of weeks ago. She's in Atlanta. And Credit Doc Restorations is out of Texas. I like those four. And I'll list them in the comments underneath this video once we are done and we wrap up, okay? But those are my four. Now, I prefer going to a credit specialist because, especially those four that I told you, they don't just repair your credit. They repair it and teach you how to keep it good. And that's what you need. That's what you definitely need, believe me. So, y'all got me all off track talking about credit. I don't forgot what I was talking about. Anyway, so I said bad credit is, no credit is worse than bad credit. Believe it or not. Because they have no idea how you're going to pay. They have no idea what you've done in the past. You know what I'm saying? So they don't look at it that way. Now, my son, so by the time my son was 26 and he decided he was 24 or 25. And I didn't even know that one of my credit, Sean Hargrove, he's Mr. Credit and Real Estate if you want to follow him on Instagram. He gave me we were doing a home buyer seminar together. And he's the one who told me about the authorized user trick to help build your kids' credit. Put kids on a credit card. Absolutely. You don't have to give them the card. Why? Your job as a parent is to give your child the best advantage in life that you can give them. And if I just told you cash is king, but credit rules the world, then what better way to gift your child than good credit? No joke. I put Antonio, that's my oldest son's name. I call him Dude, but he's been on my credit card now for about 2 or 3 years. His credit score better than mine now. Because now he used what I did. He used what I did with his credit. And he went and got his own credit cards and he started paying more by being on and I put him on a low level credit card, like $2,000 limit. I had it forever. And that's what you want. You want longevity, the longest open credit card that you have. MasterCard, Visa, American Express, or Discover, not Macy's. Okay? Yes, you can put them on a Macy's card, but a Macy's card is not going to give them the same benefit and the same leg up that a MasterCard or Visa or American Express or Discover would. So please do it the right way. So I put him on my Visa card, and I had this account forever. I still got the account forever. I barely use the daggone card now. It has a $2,000 limit on it. I've had the card for like 8 years. I never get a credit line increase on it because I don't really use that card. I use a different card. Why? Because I get points. I'm all about points and free mileage and free gas and free everything with my points. So I use a different card. So I put him on that card. And what I did was when I go to the grocery store, because I know he's on that card, I will go to the grocery store, charge my groceries, go home and pay it off. Just so he could get his credit right. So then I asked him one day he came to me, he said, I looked at Credit Karma. Should I dispute this? They say I got this Visa card with a $2,000 limit on it. said, no, you can't dispute that. I'm a yes, my card. You're authorized user. He was like, oh, well, why I don't have a card? Because I'm not trusting you with my credit. You can forget it. No. So that's the logic of my son. So he didn't even know. He knew I did it, but forgot that that's what I had did for him. And so when he's looking at his credit score go up and up and up and up, because I started using the card again. Just if I went to the mall, I would use that card, and wait for the bill to come and then pay it off before the billing statement hit. And that's the thing too, you got to pay attention to that. There's 2 dates you have to pay attention to in your credit: the due date and the billing date. The due date, make your minimum payment by the due date. Your billing date is when you should at least have your balance between 3 and 30%. Yeah, y'all know that, right? That's the trick to increase your credit. Also, here's another trick they don't tell you. Max your card out, pay it off every month. Max it out, pay it off. Max it out, pay it. If you can, max it out, pay it off. Because what's going to happen? The creditor is going to call you and say, hey, we've increased your limit. Because it seems like you need more money than this every month. It happened to me twice. They called me to increase my limit on my credit card because I maxed it out and then I would pay it off. And I would max it out again and I would pay it off. So they called me and said, hey, we're going to give you an extra $500 on this credit. I was like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. So now I did it again. I ain't crazy. I knew what I was doing. I went in a higher credit limit. Sean told me that too. That's what I'm telling you. These 4 people that I told you, they know the credit game. I don't do credit. I do bare minimum credit. What I just told you is what I do. That's it. Do you guys have any questions? 1 to 7% utilization is one part of building it up. Yes. Yep. That's what I said. You have to have that utilization down before the billing period. The billing period is the date that it reports to your credit report. Didn't know that. And the billing period is usually 3 to 6 days after the due date. Just so you guys know. So, we all good with house hacking. We understand how that can be beneficial. Now, here's the thing. You can go get an FHA mortgage, 3.5% down payment with an FHA mortgage. You can buy a 1 to 4 unit property with an FHA mortgage. Buy a quad. Why not? I would. And then the thing is, buy one that's already rented out. So you only have to evict one person. Evict the person that's not paying their rent. That's what you do. That's all you do. So you put the person out there and you live in that apartment. While you're living there, fix it up. Because in 2 years, you're moving. Because you only got to stay in there 2 years with FHA mortgage. In 2 years, you're going to move. Right? Right. Or 3 years. Because in 3 years, guess what you qualify again? Another FHA mortgage. Hello. The things they don't tell you. We got to find out our own. Y'all better pay attention to these next few weeks. Every week on the Wednesday wind down, this is what we're doing for the month of December and probably all of January and probably into February. Every week when I come on, we're going to talk about some other low-cost ways to build real estate income. Okay? This is one way. This is the easiest way. It's the fastest way. Here's the trick. Why did I say FHA mortgage? Because you only need a 580 credit score to get an FHA mortgage. Don't let nobody tell you need 620. That's BS. And if you don't know what BS means, that whoever told you that you needed a 620, BS. Now, will you have a higher interest rate? Yes. So if the interest rates are at 3.29, you might have a 3.5. You might have a 3.9. That's it. But you got 3 units paying your mortgage. I'm just here to give out the information. I don't care what you do with it. I'm just here. But I will say this. If you got something out of this today, please share. Bovine excrement? What's that? So if you got something out of this today, please share the video. Please invite all your friends. Tell everybody about your girl, because we're going to be here. We're going to get this money and we're going to get all of this in together, okay? Oh, instead of BS. Okay. I got you. All right, I'm going to have to look that up next time. I'm going to have to keep that in my mind. So, don't forget, share this video with your friends, your families, your haters, your helpers, everybody, okay? We here for this. This is what we here for. I'm here to make sure you guys know what they didn't tell me. Because they don't tell us everything now. They want to keep all these secrets for themselves. If this was your first time, please don't let it be your last. And next time, invite a friend. You could tag a friend in this video. And guess what? I'm thinking that I got to talk to a few more people. But what's going to happen is this. I have a checklist that I'm going to be putting up later tonight. It's a free checklist. You can be able to click the link in the bio. Not yet. I'll put up a post, let you guys know. Not yet. I will put up a post, let you guys know. I'm putting up a free checklist for the home buying process. What you should do from 0 to 3 months, 3 to 6, 6 to 9, 9 to 12. Because you don't just do what Delisa did, which is wake up one day and say, oh, I want to buy a house and start the process. No, you start the process at least a year in advance, especially if your credit and finances are not there. Okay? If your credit and finances are not where they need to be, don't wake your behind up early in the morning and say, I'm going to buy a house today. No, that's not how it works. Okay? So stop it. What you're going to do is plan and strategize and get yourself in a situation where you can do better. And that's what we're going to be talking about. So the checklist will be out later tonight. I also have a workbook coming out. It's just called the Home Buyers Workbook by Trinity Alliance Group of Buffalo. We've been working on that. And we're going to have a virtual home buyers seminar. Yep, I'm working on getting some people lined up for it now. So I'll let you know when all that is coming up. But in the meantime and in between time, keep your head up, people. Start working on your credit. It's getting to a point where we're getting ready to lose paper currency. And I don't understand why y'all don't believe this. Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, digital wallets. Do you know they got credit cards now? They don't even check your credit report. They go by how much money you got going through your bank account. What? I'm going to talk about that too. See, I told y'all, your girl is in the know. Your girl, Sean Hunley, the Hunley Group put me onto that. So we're going to talk about that too. Now, like I said, I got to get ready to get out of here. I love you guys. Have a good night. Be great, be good, and be blessed. We'll talk tomorrow because I'll probably be back on here. I'll pop on tomorrow, and I got to get back into the investor side of things. I think I'm going to do a wholesaling Q&A tomorrow on IG on here. Okay? So, keep it light, keep it friendly, but most of all, be safe, be happy, and love your people. Talk to y'all later. Bye.